Hello, how are you? I'm just waiting for my guest, Hluma. I'm sure she'll be on now in a minute. So if you could give us a minute. Oh, there we go.
Hi.
Hi, Hluma, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh,
Honestly, I think
I'm
I'm
good, thank
very
you.
short. Let me just drop it.
I'm also dropping it on my side.
I'm like, okay, I'm very, very short.
Likewise, actually. So I feel that. Awesome. So thank you for joining us. I think we'll just give it like another few seconds,
Yeah,
wait for a few more people to join the call, and then we'll get going. How was your day?
it was good.
I just
I'm trying not to sigh when I say that because usually my initial, uh, just like I don't even think about it. I go, it was okay, I guess. So I was like, okay, you know what? Today was okay. Bit hectic, but such as, such as life at this point, and just having to balance being at home is just like every day is a new challenge, and every day learn new skills on how to cope being at home full time. So yeah, it's interesting. And yours?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I actually went into the office today, but mainly working from home. But we had um, a sort of a session, a workshop. So I went in, but most of us have been vaccinated, so it's fine. Hi, I see this, saying hello.
That's my
I
best
see
friend.
that. Oh, that's great. Okay, so I think I'm going to start. I know that I'm sure people will join along the way. But I think it's best we start as
Yeah.
well. Because Instagram only gives you an hour and then it cuts. So I think
What? Okay.
yes, it does. So I think okay. So let's begin. So hi everyone, thank you for joining us. I am very excited to be chatting to Hluma. Hluma is a cloud solution architect, and I do not know what that means, but but it's fine because that I think Hluma will by the end of this session, I think we'll be schooled in what that means and what it's about. And so, Flippa, why don't you start off by just telling us, a little bit about yourself, sort of what did you study, etc., and we'll take it from there.
Okay. I just need to adjust my setup here quickly. Sorry,
That's not a
everybody. I
problem.
will.
That's
Yeah,
not
it
a
was
problem. So
just,
I'm just,
yeah.
yeah. So
Sorry, I just.
there we go.
Um,
Cool.
okay, am I good now?
Oh yes, you're fine.
All right. Okay. All right. So, hi everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time out to come and join this session. Thank you, Lubna, for having me. I'm super excited just to have a chat to you about my journey and what I do, and this amazing organization I work for. So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Hluma Magodla. Um, I'm not going to say my age. I am from Cape Town, originally from Cape Town. I studied at Stellenbosch University where I did a BSc in information system. Well, I did a BSc in geoinformatics and then I did a BCom honors in information systems management. Um, and yeah, every day I get to do like, my best work at one of the best companies to work for. Day in, day out is challenging, but yeah, I have three dogs, one cat. Right now, I am in between cities. I'm actually based in Johannesburg, but now I'm at home
Okay.
just just to catch up with family. You know, you know how it goes working from home. You kind of miss being a family because in Joburg it's kind of me and my partner. So I'm at home right now.
That's awesome. Okay, and
Yeah,
so is it because of COVID that you are able to sort of work in a different city? Or would you have
yeah.
been able to
So
do that?
current. Yeah, so currently at work, we are at a mandatory work from home instruction
Okay.
from, business because safety first at this point of the game. With the rollout
Mhm.
of the vaccine in South Africa, we're, watching that closely. Just wanted to make sure that, we're being as precautious as we can for ourselves and also for our customers and our partners that we work with. We just thought it
Mhm.
best that for now, let's work from home, and also just be able
Mhm.
to make sure that we are actually utilizing the technology that we offer our customers. So that is why I'm actually able to work from home and be in between cities.
Okay, so that's cool. And hi everyone. So thanks for joining us. I will be taking your questions as well. I'll be chatting to Kluma, and in between, if you have any sort of questions for her, please feel free to ask. I'll be jotting it down and asking her those questions. And so, okay, cool. So thanks for giving us an overview of where you are, Kluma. So tell us, what is a cloud solution architect? But you need to tell us what cloud is. Let me start with that because I mean we all YouTube is on the cloud, but the cloud
Yes.
seems like such an abstract concept, and especially if you have if you're a student as well, can you explain to us what cloud solutions is and what
Yeah,
you do?
so day to day, yeah. So basically, my day-to-day job is kind of just facilitating customers moving from their on-premise environment, so having physical hardware servers sitting in their data centers. So that would be in a room somewhere, dark room where nobody goes, in a room somewhere where we're trying to facilitate them moving all of that infrastructure into cloud. And as a cloud provider, Microsoft is able to provide customers with a cheaper alternative to actually buying that hardware. We have the resources to buy a lot, so we give customers the ability to pay less for it because we have a lot of it and be able to scale more, because you're able to do it on demand, right? Because what happens usually on-prem, you have certain amount of servers. If you need more capacity, you have to buy physically another building. And that also takes time, So when it comes to scaling, if you say, okay, today I need 10 more, with cloud, you're able to say you buy on demand. You say, okay, please add 10 more of these type of virtual machines. I want to do this type of work. And you're able to do that. So what I do basically is facilitate that process of moving from your on-premise environment to the cloud. That
Okay,
is
and so
in a nutshell.
in a nutshell. And when you say on-premise environment, you're saying like, so basically the servers and the hard drives that are sitting physically in a building, you
Yes.
are able to take that, and does it sit in Microsoft's building somewhere? And then you
Yes. So we
provide us
have our
with the cloud. Yes?
Exactly. So we have our own data centers,
Okay.
where we are able to provide you with that compute capacity. So that is why we're able to provide customers with the ability to do it at scale. Because that's usually what customers struggle with is, okay,
Okay.
I need it now. It's never, sometimes business comes to us and says, hey, we have this big project, we need to launch it in a week. Will we have the ability to do that? And we come in and say, we have the infrastructure, we have the ability to do it for you and with you. So I facilitate that migration, as we would call it, so that movement from hardware to cloud.
Okay, okay, so that makes a lot of sense. And is it, I'm guessing it would be cheaper for us to like maybe sort of acquire those services from Microsoft as opposed to a host or keeping the servers on our premises. Um,
Yeah, you see, so when it comes to having your infrastructure sitting in a on-prem environment, so in your physical building, there's a lot of maintenance that comes with it, hardware maintenance. You have to prepare for outages, you have to prepare for, capacity requirements that come ad hoc, right? So with Microsoft, we're able to do that for you at the speed at which you need to do it at. So we also provide you. So it depends on how you want that infrastructure to look. It can be as
mhm,
simple as taking it as is. So
mhm,
that's what we call infrastructure as a service. So you take it as
mhm,
it is and you move it onto cloud. And then when you get there, you can say, hey, you know what? I want to just modernize a little bit, right? And then we also provide you that services where you go from, I don't want to do all the handling of the bottom line infrastructure anymore. I don't want to take care of, looking after my servers and my virtual machines. We offer you, okay, now we're doing into a platform as a service offering where we offer you some of our services. We take care of the underlying infrastructure for you. So we also meet customers who are at varying degrees of that maturity and how prepared they are for cloud. And I think because we're been in this game for such a long time, we know how to sort of gauge our customers and actually meet them where they are to facilitate that journey for them. Because at times it's a daunting one, I won't lie. You get customers who are at different maturity levels, and you have to meet them where they are. And that's what I do. I provide customers with a surety to say, hey, you know what? I want you to focus on your business. That's what I care for you to do. Focus on what drives your business, what brings you money. I'll take care of the IT part of it. That's what I'm here to do. So that's basically what
Okay.
I do on a day to day.
Okay, so you basically replacing our IT department.
Never. I love I love all the people in IT departments because what we also do a lot of, especially with our engagements with customers, is we do a knowledge exchange, right? Because we want to be able to say, in future, we want our customers to also be our advocates to say, you know what? I really enjoy this product without us having to come and sell it to them and say, it's so easy. I find that it's so reliable. It's secure. That's what we do. So it's always a knowledge exchange. No, but IT people are the best people to have those like type of discussions with because they're
Yeah.
interested. They care about, they care about that IT environment. And we want to foster that relationship.
Okay, okay, cool. Okay, no, so the reason why I was asking, so like for me, I'm in HR, right? I only sort of call the IT people when I can't get onto my emails for some reason, or I'm having some sort of issue. So I think this is something. So I actually, I'm chatting to you. I realize that whatever you're talking about now, this is something that is obviously under the ambit of our IT department and something that they obviously need to worry about, that there is enough space for us to sort of store all of our documents and all of sort of our data and everything like that. And so,
Yeah.
so I think so it's quite interesting because it's not something that I would think of on a day-to-day basis. Whereas this is obviously something that our IT department sort of needs to think about. So
Yeah.
the one thing that you mentioned something about security, and
Mm.
I want to know sort of firstly, what is cybersecurity? What does it mean? And how safe is it to move our physical hardware to the cloud? Or
Yeah.
what would you need to do in order to make sure that what would you need to do in order to make sure that our data is actually secure, especially now. I'm sure you've heard
Yeah.
with the POPIA Act as well, all of those kinds of
Yeah.
things. So can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so this is something that even me myself, day to day, is something that I'm teaching myself, something
Mm-hmm.
I'm learning about. I'm learning from my customers, I'm learning from the partners that I work with.
Mm-hmm.
Cybersecurity, it means different things to different organizations depending where they are, right? In the terms of how they are using technology as an enabler for them to achieve their business objectives, right? You can have people
Mm-hmm.
who just say, for me, security means that nobody can breach my network. And other people are saying, well, this is your network, right? But for me, cybersecurity means at a data level,
Yes.
my data must be secure. How are you managing that infrastructure to make sure that my data is secure? How are you managing the transfer of data? So while my data is moving from on-prem to the cloud, how is that secure?
Mm-hmm.
It means different things for different people, depending on who you're speaking to in IT and depending on who you're speaking to in business, because a lot of the
Mm-hmm.
times our conversations they do end up around the IT departments, but a good chunk of my time is also around business, right? I'll speak to
Mm-hmm.
people who are making decisions about where the company is going. So for them, cybersecurity means, okay, when we're on a platform, our users are not having their credentials leaked. What is Microsoft doing
Yes.
to secure that? And then we're having that
Yes.
conversation, and we now moved from, oh, okay, we were doing a infrastructure conversation. Now we're doing, okay, now on a platform level, what does that look like for the customer? So day to day, it's something that you as a customer and an user of the internet, you need to educate yourself and what security means for you. For me, it means that I'm having different logins and different login details for my different accounts that I'm on. I am
Mhm.
securing my endpoint devices, so my cell phone, my laptop, any other fancy gadgets I have, I'm securing that as well. And customers
Mhm.
will come and say, hey, we just recently had and also making sure the people. That's also a critical part that people forget is that people are also part of the cybersecurity conversation. It's not just attackers sitting somewhere in a dark room, right? It's people within organizations and around organizations that we also need to be able to be educating ourselves on. So with my customers, again, the conversation varies and where they are and what their priorities are, right? And what their objectives are for their
Mhm.
organizations. So it always really
Mhm.
does differ.
Okay, cool. So I think so cool. So you've mentioned that you get different types of security. So security in terms of passwords
Yeah,
and logging in. And then you have security in terms of, outside hackers trying to get company information. And then you said
exactly.
there's other types of security as well, security against employees that could actually take company confidential data and leak that as well.
True.
Okay, and so so
Yeah.
so those are the different types of securities that we need to watch, that companies need to be aware of.
Yeah, and it's just now when you're speaking, it's just because now we said, okay, from a infrastructure perspective, so we're talking about physical hardware, but then even in that, right? So from my
Yes.
customers, I'm saying your infrastructure is on-prem. What are you doing to secure that building? That's also a cybersecurity conversation.
Sure.
Who gets in and out, who accesses your data center, who is able to make changes to that environment, who's making those decisions. It's a whole host of conversation and it's multi-layered. And that's why I always say to my customers, I'm not going to give you an off-the-shelf presentation, right? I want you to tell
Mhm.
me what security means to you. And I want to guide
Mhm.
you on where we go from where you are to the ideal state of being secure. And every single
Mhm.
day, the other day I read a Gartner article, they were talking about something over a trillion signals that go out trying to hack people every single day.
It's
So can you
to
imagine
hack
this is
people.
now all every single over a trillion signals that go in trying to hack people. Can you now
That's
imagine
insane.
what we have to do every single day? Exactly. So it's every single day, it's a security conversation. Every single day.
Wow. So do you have any sort of like exciting or funny
Yeah.
or mind-blowing stories when it comes to security? Can you share some of them with us? Obviously, not mentioning any names.
Oh, well, I don't know if I can share, but I mean, some of these articles are really available. We see them all the time,
Yes.
on our public, even on our social media platforms where,
Mhm.
some of
Mhm.
our, maybe enterprise, organizations that have been held by ransomware or, a site is down because they were attacked. It's different things at different scales for different organizations. Um, I don't have a personal one because I can't divulge
Yeah.
that, but beyond the
Yeah,
internet,
of
always
course,
stay
like
alert.
just
Yeah.
like a general kind of story, like what people can do to sort of attack or attack your security.
Hectic. I don't have one top of mind right now.
Okay,
I'll circle back
that's
to that
cool.
one. I'll think
No,
about
no,
it
we can
during
go
our
back to
chat and
that.
I'll circle back to you. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
That we can totally do that. Because I think the reason why I'm hopping on security, and we'll talk about other things as well, but the reason why I'm hopping on security is because I know for a fact that that is something that a lot of employees sort of take for granted and don't necessarily
Mm,
understand. And very often, like we might click on a link or something like that that might actually jeopardize or put our company's data at risk or put their own sort of information at risk. So I think security is such an
Yeah,
important part as well. And I'm sure that that's something that Microsoft takes very seriously as well.
very, very, very seriously, Lisa. I can't tell you. Um, and that's what I'm saying to you. Every engagement, um,
Mhm.
every single person who works at Microsoft, they lead with security. That has always been something that we've been trying to get our partners and our customers. Just that conversation is always okay. We're leading with security because organizations have to even filter down that information to their employees as well. It shouldn't
Mhm.
just end at, okay, I'm speaking to a CIO about security. It needs to filter
Mhm.
down to the last person who is swiping in their card into that organization, into that building. So, yeah, lead with
Mhm.
security. That's my parting comment here. Lead with security.
Awesome, awesome, cool. So let's get back into it now. So, okay, so you mentioned what you do as a cloud solution architect. So, can you tell me what, especially I've got quite a few students or graduates, uh, um, quite a few graduates that are on this page, and what would they need to do in order to become a cloud solution architect?
Yeah, so just a little bit about just background information about just how I landed in this role. It because when I started, I was a technology solutions professional, so that's sort of in the same realm, but I was more in a technical seller role, and I then transitioned into being a solution architect. Microsoft will tell you every person that I work with they will tell you the exact same thing. There isn't a qualifications specification that people are required to have. It's just the mindset that is what drives a lot of the people that I see and I work around every single day. That hunger to learn, that hunger to do better, that hunger to see your customers, just reach a different level in the organizations. Just it's all about that. It's an attitude, it's an energy that you kind of have to show up with every single day because everybody I work with comes from different backgrounds. I have people that I started with that come from finance. They were working in big banks, and other people came from an extremely technical role in one of our partner organizations. Some were straight out of universities, studied a BA or studied a BCom or studied a BSc or studied a BEng. That's a whole mixture. And I think what I love about the customer is, Microsoft is how they just love having different people from different backgrounds because I feel like that is how we're able to do our best work. Honestly, it's having those different people who come in and just sharpen an idea even better, who just add in and come bring in that extra little, oh, you didn't think of it from this perspective. Oh, all right, maybe we can add this to the customer. Oh, maybe and the conversations become richer when you do that, and you develop so much depth and so much trust with with the customer because they know that you understand from different sides how the organizations work, right? So I will tell
Mhm.
you now, there is no one, qualification that you need that I'll say with this one you'll get in. Just have the right mentality, have the right drive, have the right um, just type of focus that you want, for yourself and show up with that. You're in. Honestly, honestly, honestly.
Okay, so what I'm hearing from you is that you don't need a specific degree to get into Microsoft, number one. And secondly, if I want to become a
Yeah.
cloud solution architect, I don't necessarily need to have a specific degree. It's more about my attitude and my hunger to learn that's going to get me into Microsoft as opposed to
Yeah,
my degree.
exactly.
Wow.
Because every day, if I'm being honest with you, Lubna, every day I have to learn something new. every single day. There's not one day that I can say, oh, today I learned nothing when I was having this conversation. Every day I'm learning new terminologies, new networking architectures,
Mhm.
new everything, new builds for
Mhm.
things. There's product
Mhm.
updates. There's no specific degree to help you prepare for that. You just have to literally have the right type of mindset to be able to say, hey, you know what, for this job, I want to show up doing this and I want to show up as this person. And what I love about it, about the organization, is you're able to say, I have a keen interest in, for instance, what we just spoke about, security, right? And
Mhm.
you can go from coming in being somebody who comes in and does one role and say, hey, I want to focus on security. I want to be a security person. And you're able to have that freedom to do that and decide, sort of map up your own career based on the person that you're choosing to show up as.
That is amazing because that is not something that every kind of organization can offer the employees. So you can start off as one thing and decide that you want to jump to something else and sort of even go and explore different things and decide, okay, I actually want to be in this area in Microsoft or that area. And you can sort of
Yeah.
map that out. That is really, really, really awesome. So, Hluma, I was actually thinking. So I see there's quite a few comments coming through as well. I think Sabina Tope said, governance, security, and compliance is what we lead with as well. I will sort of look at the other comments as well. But I was just wondering, you said that you don't necessarily need a specific degree and that you're learning new things every
Yeah.
day. So how did that work? So did you go in to Microsoft not actually understanding their products at all? And then how did you then learn those products? Like, what was the process? Did they sort of guide you, train you, put you on courses? How did it work?
Yeah. So when I started fresh out of university, I knew nothing. I knew nothing about what I was doing, I'm going to be honest. And they, when they hire grads, they're fully aware of that, just by the way. They're not thinking you're
Okay.
coming in with level 500 knowledge about things. No. But what I love about working at Microsoft is just the company culture to just always be learning more, encouraging employees to take on those courses. So what I did is I got to the organization and I looked at my team and I said, okay, I see this is where my team is operating at. This is how they are driving their conversations. This is what I need to be able to drive those conversations with my customers. And then I sat down. First 3 months, our manager was saying to me, hey, I just want you to learn. That's what I want you to do. I want you to come here and I want you to learn. I want you to get into the groove of how the team works. And I did certifications, right? So all of the Microsoft certifications for Microsoft employees are free. But the learning parts are available to the wider audience at no cost. So I did my first certification 3 months into the role, and then I did my second certification because I realized everybody in my team has a level 300 certification. So that's the type of certification that you get. And I said, okay, in these 6 months, and I had a discussion with my manager, and I said to her, by July, I want to have this certification. And she said, what are you going to do to do it? What do you need from me? And I said, every day, I want to come in and give a certain part of the morning, dedicate, if I don't have meetings, dedicated to learning. And then I want to write it by July. And she said, what do you need from me? I just said, I just need your support and time. And I did it. So everybody who comes in, they know the company culture is centered around learning. And it's not forced upon employees, right? You kind of move with the energy where you can see that even with the conversation with our customers, that everybody kind of, is always fine tuning. Product updates come out, people are on it, they're talking about it in our internal meetings. We're having knowledge sharing sessions every single Fridays. And you come as you want. You don't have to be there. So there's always this company culture of learning. So that's what was allowed me to be able to upskill when I landed in my role because of the company culture centered around learning.
So that's amazing. You're saying that they actually
Yeah.
like provide you with the tools and you use company time to learn, like products around Microsoft, and or
Yeah.
is it when you're learning, does it need to be specifically around products around Microsoft, or could it just be like AI, for example, something in the industry?
Ah, um, so I don't focus on AI, right? But we do have
Yeah, I know. Don't
AI
worry, I know.
products
I'm just doing
that we offer, but it literally,
that.
uh, yeah. So for me, right, it was just um, when with my learning journey, I decided, okay, this is what I want to do. And I told my manager, we had a conversation as to why I felt like it would allow me to show up as a better, architect to my customers. I really was in telling her, I feel like I need these skills, and doing this course is going to enable me to do that, right? This isn't a technical
Okay.
conversation that I'm having with my conversation. I'm telling her how I'm bringing more value when I'm showing up
Mhm.
to my job, and
Mhm. Mhm.
that's what you need. And I think that is a fair ask from your
Yeah.
employer, saying, hey, this is how I want to bring more value and drive more impact to the with my customers. So I felt like
Mhm.
by doing these courses, I'm able to do so. And I didn't
Yeah.
have to choose technical ones. I could choose project management ones. So, and still today, everybody,
Mhm.
other people, I see some of my colleagues on LinkedIn, they're
Mhm.
doing Scrum certifications.
Mhm.
They're doing still also nothing to do directly with products, but coming together to make sure that, okay, we're enriching our skills for our customers. Sometimes our customers don't want
Mhm.
product knowledge, they want program management. And
Mhm.
I'm able to say,
Mhm.
okay, I'm finding more and more program management skills I don't have. I want to sign up for this course, and then I'm there.
Awesome. So there's so there's two things I want to actually point out. So the one thing is I see Rashawn says what an amazing
Yes.
culture. And that is one of the reasons why I also was excited to talk to you today, because I think that not many of South African companies like are at that level yet, where they're able to, move towards a learning kind of culture and an environment like Microsoft. And I know that a lot of these big global players actually have all of these kinds of, they have a very different mindset when it comes to employees and employee well-being and
Mm,
employee growth as well. And I thought that that was something very important that I would like um, to expose people to as well. Because I'm sure for you, I remember when we were talking, it was something that we sort of, take for granted once you're in it, but it's not every company that offers so much to the employees, or
yeah,
invest in the employee growth and learning.
yeah. Like, when I speak to some of my friends as well, I realize what an amazing opportunity I have here at this company to just honestly just become the person that I envision myself to be in the next 10,
Mhm.
20 years of my life. And
Mhm.
it's outside of technology. It's the culture. We recently had an event called Include, right, where we were having guest speakers talking about diversity and inclusion and what that looks
Mhm.
like, right? Because sometimes we'll
Mhm.
say diversity and inclusion means this to a company. That's the company logo. We are about
Yes.
diversity and inclusion. But what I loved
Yes.
and what I appreciated more so much is just how we moved like deeper into that conversations, what
Mhm.
identity means, how people are
Mhm.
choosing to show up, people around family, people who live on their
Mhm.
own, how the company is moving around, how because sometimes we show up as one person at work and then somebody different at home. And I felt like
Yeah.
Microsoft recognized that there's a stitching that needs to happen between those two
Mhm.
people that we show up as.
Mhm.
And I really, and every day I sit and I'm in awe and I'm like, wow, okay, yeah.
So that's really cool. So you're saying it's almost like they acknowledge the fact that, you're not just a resource to the company, you're a whole human being. And this, the inclusion initiative is there to sort of also channel into, who you are as a person, not only as a Microsoft employee, but as Kluma, the individual.
Yes, so much so. I remember when I showed up, and and everybody's always shocked when I say this. I was the youngest, naturally, fresh out of university. I was the youngest person in my team. I was the only female in my team, and I was the only black woman in my team. And that was a shock for me, right? I made it about me and my experience, but I also didn't realize that how is my team receiving me? And I had to change my perspective. And I only realized that when I was having all these conversations about the whole of me, and telling my manager, you know, I love this team so much, and I sometimes I don't feel like I don't bring any value. And she was saying to me, "Are you joking? Just the little comments you make about when we're having a conversation about maybe a health conversation and helping the government with